Here today. Some of you may ask yourself, why are you here with another testing site? We're here because the pandemic is not over. The pandemic is not over, and we still got to push for folks to come and get tested, both for COVID-19 and for the antibodies. I think it's critical that we continue to ask people to test, to trace, and to treat. The three T's, TTT, right? Triple T. Test, trace, and treat. And so this is important, and we haven't had a testing site in this community. This could serve not only people for this community, but it could serve people that cut across the bridge from New Jersey as well. Anybody that wants to get tested, you don't have to make an appointment. You can come right up and get tested for COVID-19 or for the antibodies. Now this is critically important because a report that just came out stated that 33%, meaning 1 out of every 3 people that have been tested in northern Manhattan show that they had antibodies. That's a huge number in comparison to the rest of the borough, which is 19%. So this particular zip code, 133, had a total, I'll tell you right now, of 33.4% testing for antibodies. That means that a total, right, uptown, of 47,603 people got tested, and 33% of them showed to have the antibodies. So we must continue to do more to identify those that have the antibody, to identify those that are positive, and then to trace and isolate and treat. This is critical as we continue to push against this pandemic, particularly when all experts say that there is a great potential that there will be a second surge of the pandemic during the upcoming months. So I'm happy that this test site is here at Holyrood Church. I want to thank Holyrood and the doctors involved in the test site. It's going to be here every day.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday,
and Friday.
And Friday, not every day. 3 days a week for people to come in and get tested. Estamos aquí y algunos de ustedes se pueden preguntar por qué, ya que la pandemia ha visto una reducción de contagios muy bajito. Decimos que estamos aquí porque la pandemia no ha terminado. Particularmente un gran grupo de expertos piensan que en los próximos meses podría haber otro brote de la pandemia. Por eso estamos aquí con este centro de pruebas. También porque recientemente salió un reporte que dice que el Alto Manhattan, los códigos postales de 132 y este que estamos aquí, 133, 134 y 140 que están en la área de Inwood, tienen un 33% de las personas que recibieron la prueba salieron con el anticuerpo del virus. O sea, 47.603 personas recibieron la prueba en esos códigos postales y el 33% dieron positivo al anticuerpo. Diferente al resto del condado, donde solamente el 19% dieron positivo para los anticuerpos. Quiere decir que aquí hubo un alto nivel de contagio y debemos de seguir haciendo la prueba para ver si la persona está positiva del COVID-19 o si cuentan con los anticuerpos. Por eso estamos aquí, le damos las gracias a Holyrood, a la iglesia, también a las personas directamente llevando a cabo las pruebas, llevando a cabo todo el trabajo que es necesario para asegurar que nuestra comunidad esté saludable y segura. Así que con eso le presento a nuestra asambleísta Carmen de la
Good afternoon, I'm Assemblywoman Carmen
also Holyrood Church. They have been a sanctuary church for our community. Our colleague who represents this area is Assemblymember Al Taylor. His staff is here. I also want to shout them out. I want to say that the congressman is absolutely right. Our community has been one of the most highly impacted communities from COVID-19. We are entering a new phase in the reopening. Every single day, more and more places are reopening, including the reopening of schools in the next few weeks. As teachers, administrators, parents begin to take the children back to school, it is imperative that we have testing sites. So that is done in a way that our families will not continue to be infected by the COVID-19 virus that has taken so many of our loved ones. I personally was tested. I personally have the antibodies. I reside in 10034, and so we know that our community has been directly impacted. So this is about preserving the progress that we've done and ensuring that we can make sure that our community has at their disposal the health care and the tools that they need in order to continue to recover from this egregious virus. So, mi nombre es Carmen de la Rosa, soy la asambleísta. Le doy la gracia al congresista por su liderazgo. Él tiene toda la razón. Nuestra comunidad fue parte de este epicentro de esta pandemia. Muchas personas en nuestra comunidad perdieron a sus seres queridos, perdieron a personas muy importantes en esta comunidad. Todos los días todavía nos llegan noticias de personas que se están recuperando del virus. Es importante que estos lugares de hacerse la prueba estén vigentes en nuestra comunidad para asegurarse que no haya otro brote y que nosotros podamos seguir avanzando en el cuidado y la recuperación. Personalmente yo me hice el examen, tengo el anticuerpo en mi cuerpo, pero sabemos que eso es solamente parte de lo que hay que hacer para asegurarse que, por ejemplo, cuando comienza la escuela, nuestros niños, los maestros, los administradores, puedan tener acceso a los exámenes. Ahora es el momento de asegurarse que sigamos dando acceso a ese cuidado médico que nuestra comunidad se merece. Así que es un placer estar aquí y apoyar esta iniciativa.
Okay, let me, before I introduce the next person, let me go over the numbers, right? The zip code 132, which is a little further down, 13,465 tests, 4,538 had the antibodies. 133, the one we're on, 13,934 tested, 4,648 positive. Zip code 134, where I live, up in Inwood, 9,982 tested, 3,214 positive. And finally, zip code 140, which is on Dyckman Street, 10,222 tested, 3,399 positive. Los números son los siguientes. El código postal 132, un 33.7%, con 13.465 personas recibieron la prueba, 4.538 positivos. En el zip code 133, que es el que estamos, 33.4%, o sea, 13.934 personas recibieron la prueba, 4.648 positivos. En el 34, la parte alta de Inwood, donde yo vivo, 32.2%, o sea, 9.982 personas con pruebas, 3.214 positivos. Y finalmente, el zip code de 140, que es el de Dyckman, 33.3%, o sea, 10.222 pruebas y 3.399 personas positivas. Esos son los números del Alto Manhattan, mucho más alto que cualquier otro vecindario del condado, donde hay un 19% de positivos. Pero creemos, primero porque las personas que tienen los anticuerpos pueden ayudar con el plasma a combatir la pandemia. People that have the antibody could be helpful. They could be part of the solution to combat the pandemic because they have the antibody. So it's important that we also engage them. With that, let me introduce our City Council member, Mark Levine.
Thank you so much, Congressmember. Great to be with my colleagues. I want to be very clear, this pandemic is not over. despite our exhaustion with quarantining and our exhaustion with these difficult circumstances, we're still getting about 300 new confirmed cases every day in the 5 boroughs of New York City. And the truth is, we do not have herd immunity in New York City. There are millions of people who are vulnerable here. And with college kids coming back from around the country, with schools potentially reopening, with the cold weather coming and people retreating to indoors, it would frankly be a miracle if we don't have a rebound of this virus in New York City. So we have to prepare now for that, which is why it's so important that we're here expanding testing in this neighborhood. And you might have heard a lot that the positivity rate in New York is very low, it's 1%, but it's not equal amongst the neighborhoods of the city. On the Upper East Side, the positivity rate right now is less than 0.5%. In this zip code, 10033, it's 3 times that. It's 1.5%. And up in Inwood, 1034, it's over 2%. We have incredible inequality. Those are numbers from the last month. Incredible inequality still this late in the epidemic. And getting people access to testing now is very, very important to fight back, both to diagnose and to get an antibody test as well, so you can donate blood, a very important emerging treatment. En español, brevemente, esta pandemia no se ha acabado. Hemos visto durante todo el verano 300 casos diarios o más confirmados. No hay inmunidad de rebaño en Nueva York, no lo hay. Quiere decir que ya para otoño el riesgo sigue para millones de neoyorquinos. No hay igualdad en el nivel de este virus, donde en barrios tales como el Upper East Side, tan solo 0.5% de las pruebas son positivas. Acá en Washington Heights, 3 veces, 1.5%, y en Inwood, 2% de las pruebas salen positivas. Así que es importantísimo que expandemos los recursos acá, tanto para pruebas del virus como anticuerpos. Así que le agradezco al congresista y al concejal Adriano Espaillat, asambleísta Carmen de Rosa, por participar hoy. Gracias.
Gracias, Mark. Otra información, por favor, y yo prometo que en todas las actividades voy a hacer un llamado para que se llene el formulario del censo. Es importante, se pueden perder $3,000 por persona de ayuda federal si no se llena el formulario del censo. Estamos encabezando en el Alto Manhattan el conteo del censo en Manhattan, pero queremos llegar a como tuvimos hace 10 años, que era un 77% de respuesta, y no estamos ahí todavía. De manera que le pedimos a todo el mundo que llene su formulario del censo. We ask everybody to fill their census form. Last time around, I believe we were at 77%. We're not there yet. We're top in the borough, but we want to continue to push and be next or above to where we were 10 years ago. Y pronto, esta semana, al fin de esta semana o al principio de la próxima, vamos a distribuir el listado de los sitios donde vamos a presentar, vamos a ofrecer las vacunas de influenza. Ya se acerca la temporada de vacunas y como ustedes saben, esto es un tiempo complicado porque los expertos han dicho que es posible que la temporada de la influencia, del flu, se conecte también con un posible segundo brote del COVID, que podría complicar la situación. Por tal razón, le vamos a pedir a la comunidad que se vacune, busque su vacuna del flu lo más rápido posible. Yo espero ser el primero en hacerlo, para enseñarle a todos que debemos de hacerlo. y próxima semana, al principio de la próxima semana o a mediados, le vamos a dar y vamos a trabajar juntos todos los oficiales electos para darle con precisión los sitios donde puede conseguir su vacuna del flu. We are starting also our flu vaccine campaign soon. I will give you next week a list of the sites and the dates where they're going to be throughout the community. With that, I introduce Councilmember Adriano Espaillat.
Thank you, Congressman. My colleague, Councilmember Mario Green, So, Congressman said, put it very clear. And I say someone that we've been in the battlefield, you know, from the beginning of this pandemic. In many press conferences that we hold today, demanding in New York City to please, you know, address this coronavirus from the perspective of equity. You know, as we know that all people have different realities, we also have the same reality here in our Alto Manhattan. It's like living in two cities. And I think it's like when you look at the zip code 10001, and at the beginning, I don't know how the number is right now, but at some point there was no one person who died in that zip code. There was no cases of people with the coronavirus. And I think that we have to continue doing the best we can to get everyone to please do the test, to continue inviting the public, the private sector to work together. I think that the coronavirus had to be seen together with the George Floyd, together with other issues of equity. I think that, you know, we put initiatives together. We went out to clean the street. We went out to clean the park. And it's the same thing. Look at Cico. Look how clean is it. Look how often sanitation going to pick up the garbage can. And look what's going on in England. So I think that, you know, what have happened here is that the community, we have to take control of our presence in the future. You know, we say isolating someone that tests positive should not be a privilege. We say it was not fair that even an animal in the Bronx Zoo got the test. The basketball player got the test. And here in the poor neighborhood, our people